Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zed. Would you like to know the future of SOS miners and when the next shipment is going to be? Watch it to the end. So SOS Cloud, I did talk about this one extensively in my last two videos, so I do recommend that you watch that one in the description below, but we can take on from the latest news that we have. SOS takes initial steps to establish digital asset exchange. Now this one, they announced it yesterday on the March 24th, announced today that they have taken steps to establish a digital asset exchange. Specifically, the company entered into a tailor-made license to use blockchain asset exchange system made by a third party in exchange for a one-time license fee. Once the software is installed and operational, the company expects to establish digital asset exchange. The company also intends to offer security and insurance services for digital assets. The company chairman and CEO, Yang commented, "This is a key step in our blockchain and cryptocurrency strategy. The digital asset exchange is an important part of our global provide global blockchain services, digital asset security services, and decentralized finance services." Now, this comes in a little bit off reading between the lines, and you can start linking this to NFTs, because what are NFTs other than digitalized assets linked to blockchain? So it has some remote relation to there, and so you can see that perhaps this one is most likely or more likely to get an NFT exchange service on their exchange compared to some other less known companies that are really running on NFTs. And then coming on next, SOS takes initial steps to establish digital assets. This is based on their news instead of Yahoo News, and it's almost exact same piece of information. And then the next thing I want to talk about is the delivery for the next and final batch of Bitcoin crypto mining rigs from the last order. So far, they have 10,000 received and installed. And you're looking into the receipt of the second batch was February 24th. The first batch was actually in February 9th, so within a month. And currently we're actually within a month from the second batch, 25th today. And the current estimated delivery, is basically on April 15th. So we have within the next perhaps 2 weeks or so, we're expected to get the third and final batch, and within 1 week after that, they will get to install it. So you do expect that there will be a bullish move in that sense. Now, price over book here comes in around 17.13, which is quite insane for a lot of these companies, but they've done a lot of things, including raising enough money to pay off a lot of their debts, or almost all their debt, as well as acquiring more Bitcoin miners, etc., or cryptocurrency mining. And so the price over book, you do expect for it to adjust, although the price over sales here is 0.62. Meanwhile, the SP 500 usually goes around, I think right now, 3 to 4. And the price over book is around 4.50 in terms of an average. So you get to see that it might have a bit of room to grow there based on the price over sales, but the price over book, you will need to the next earnings for it to adjust. Now, we get a little bit off everything in here before we move on towards institutional buyers. If you haven't done so, and if you would like to get more materials like this, make sure to subscribe and leave notifications on. And if you would like to join our Discord server, you find it in the description below. On an institutional level, we don't see much things going on for March, except maybe 2,600 shares or so, but there's nothing going on there. And so we can move now towards technical analysis. From a 1 week per point perspective, what we're seeing here is that there's a really nice trading action zone. Well, what's a trading action zone? It's the line between the 10 SMA and the 30 EMA. This bracket, this is where most positive reversals often occur, in the trading action zone between the 10 SMA and the 30 EMA. And that's currently between the 594 and the 382. So on a 1 week perspective, this acts like a cushion where it is highly possible that you see a reversal within that range. Current momentum on a 1 week perspective is 463, indicating that this still has positive momentum, even though it's less positive than a week before at 681. But William Percent R is sitting closer to oversold, and so a correction there would bring buyers in, theoretically speaking. Now, on a 1 day perspective, we get to see things are looking a little bit different. The trading action zone is between 705 and 654, and you get to see a massive green candle today from 518 to currently speaking around 6 almost 12. And so this is bullish, but above 654, it can easily sling up, as you get to see in the trading action zones multiple times. It does play through on the 1 day perspective. Now, the 50 SMA, below it is bearish, above it is bullish. And you see that 50 SMA line is the 567, and so you start expecting positive reversals above there as well. Now, the MACD is signaling a negative reversal / accumulation as it gone negative, although the market has been hit hard this week, and so we expect that it was probably following the entire trend of the market for stocks similar to it, rather than just generally a stock behavior that is exclusive to SOS. And in terms of momentum, we're looking at almost zero momentum or slightly negative momentum on a one-day perspective, and the William percent R is again oversold. Now we can take a look into a 2-hour perspective to assess two things, the ADX and momentum. And we get to see that they're all trading sideways. The MACD is saying, hey, it's moving up forward a little, but this is really relative towards the market itself. The market is bouncing and bouncing a little. It's nothing special to it, so we can say it's accumulating relative to the market. And in terms of the moving average bands, you get to see the Bollinger Band is 513 at the bottom and 841 at the top, and so you expect for it to have a really strong support at the 513 level as we've seen today. The moving average band suggests that this one is supposed to trade on 744 on the top, 677 in the middle, and 609 in the bottom. Now, the stochastic fast and stochastic slow are both saying, hey, this actually might be a good time to buy, as accumulation seems to be happening here and with a bit of a bullish kicker. Now, we need to look into Fibonacci retracements to understand two things here. The significant levels where it can bounce, and supports and resistances. So the significant supports are 467 currently and 121. Significant resistances, you're looking at 681, 855, 1028, 1274, and 1588. Now, significant price line action to signify them, you'll find it's very strong support currently sitting at, and it's actually signaling in both a support and a resistance as we speak. It goes back up and forth, is the 610 level. So depending on when you watch this one, keep in mind below is a resistance. Well, if the price point is below this line, it's a 610 becomes a resistance. If the price point is above this line, it's a support. The next one below that is 549. Following that, 511, 515. Following that, 453, and then down towards 336. Significant resistance levels are a few here, 644, and then going that 684. And then following that, 818, and then a very strong one at the 967, following by 1185. Now, there's a couple of trends here to look at. So take a look into this box trend. And what this is going to showing is that, well, it did come from the top. It's accumulating between a very strong support and a resistance. And if it does break either or, the top or the bottom, it can easily go down fast. And today, it bounced right back from the bottom, which is quite really interesting, especially since a lot of these stocks in the market slipped further. And it comes to the question to Ed, what do you think other than trend lines? Do you think this is a good opportunity? If you're trading with the NFT things that I just mentioned in terms of regarding this could actually be a potential for them to expand on blockchain digital assets. That sounds like NFT, very much so. So depends if NFTs will be hot as when they bring this online, and will they adapt it or not. Things are looking interesting for trading for this one. In terms of investing, they understand that cryptocurrency and mining, etc. is a bullish thing. It's massive. And so I see them acquiring more miners and being a real competitor for Mara and Riot. What do you think about this ticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like. Have a wonderful day.